Hello everyone, my name is Susan Magner and I like working with wire and polymer clay. Today I would like to show you how to make twisted wire beads. Twisted wire beads like I have on my earrings. They make an earring look a little bit brighter and quirky. What we're going to use today is from Artistic Wire. You can use the Artistic Wire, any shade, color, size that you'd like for the beads. The tool itself comes like this from Artistic Wire. Some Beadalon is who you order this through, and I think they're on sale right now. So it's a fun tool to have in your toolkit. And today I'd like to show you how to use it. What we're going to start with is, I think, a square. We're going to make a square bead, which is this one. Comes all weird. And we're going to make a popsicle stick kind, which is a flat bead, which is, let's see, flat beads are this one. They come out nice and flat, but they're still twisted. And we can make a triangular bead, which comes out twisted also. And a round one. We're going to start today by making the square one. The tool comes, this is a little handle that fits all the other pieces of the tool, and you just kind of twist it on. The handle gives you a little control for wrapping the wire around the tool. I'm going to start with, this is the bead we're going to end up with. It's a nice square bead. And it's all twisted and comes out really cool. I'm going to take some 18 gauge wire for this one. And I think I got to straighten it out a little bit. I use my fingers just to straighten it out a little bit. You can use a tool, straightening tool, a pair of pliers with a rubber in the middle, so that heavy plastic, so that you can tell mine's been well used, but just helps to straighten the wire and strengthen it a little bit. I'm going to leave about a 2-inch end on the wire and hold it on the bead, and the first one going around is a little hard to kind of control, but you just want to wrap it around one time. And that's how you start. Now that it's wrapped the one time, as you're turning, it's just going to turn right with you. You just have to turn the handle. I'll go down a little lower. And I think to make a bead like this that we have made, I think this was around 20 times. So we're going to wrap this wire around, 18 gauge wire, around, 20 gauge wire, around the square tool. Leaving this end up, this is the one that's telling you that how many times you wrapped it around. That's the hardest part, to figure out that you wrapped all beads the same time around. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, I think that's about 20. We're again going to leave a little end, enough to give you something to work with once you take the wire off the tool. Squish it together, kind of twist it, push it together, and it'll come right off the tool. And it's a little quirky looking. What you want to do now, because you're going to have to put a piece of wire between this to hold it together. So when you squeeze it together, you can see how nice that bead comes around. Maybe the light would be better if I hold it in this hand. I'm right-handed, not left. But you can see how the bead, when you push it together, it gets all really swirly and twisted and just kind of cool looking. To get it so that it attaches to the wire that you're going to put through it in a minute, we're going to do one of these, a loop and an extra wire. But before we do this, we have to get this wire started so that it can wrap around this one. I'm going to take my needle tool and pull this one out just a little. So I'm only grabbing the end, put it on the end of the needle tool, on the very tip. You don't want a big loop in the middle, just a little. And hold it tight with the pliers and twist it around one time. Turn it over so that this is in the, kind of push it so it's in the middle of the hole. Do the same thing with this one. Pull it out just a little bit. Grab it with the tip of the needle nose pliers and twist it around. And kind of make sure it's in the middle of the hole. Now the hard part is cutting, making a loop on one end of about a 6-inch piece of wire, maybe 4 inches, 4-inch piece of wire. Straighten the piece of wire again. Cut off about 6 inches. And I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm going to put it, we're going to make a wire wrapped loop. Say that 10 times fast. You're going to hold it in your, around the way, you have to think of these, this is a pointed end. So if you want a little loop, you start at the beginning. If you want a large loop, you start at the end. I mean, closer to the end of the wire, end of the pliers. If you want something in the middle, which is normally all you need, you start in the middle. So I'm going to grab my pliers, put it in the middle, about a little bit down, an inch, I guess. And I'm going to, it's flat. You see, it's coming right through. It's flat. I'm going to take my thumb, I'm going to push it down on the wire so it looks like an L. You see that? Looks like an L. I'm going to take this piece and bend it over so it's coming down on the wire that's coming straight. Okay, it's on the top loop now and both wires are coming down. I'm going to take my pliers out, put it in so it's in the bottom of the pliers, and I'm going to continue to twist that wire around the one that's coming straight down. I twist it around 2 or 3 times, whichever feels comfortable for you. Pull it so it's a little straighting end, and that's your wire loop, just like this one. Okay, now you're going to take your wire cutters and put it close. Make sure you're only cutting this little stem wire that you want to cut off as close to the twist as you can, but I always like to cover it with my hand. This way, if it flies off when you're cutting it, it's not going to hit you in the face or in your eye. You just cut it and make sure that you have no little wire pieces coming out. Looks pretty close, but if you want to make sure, you take your flat nose pliers and kind of just pinch it a little bit to make sure it's straight, if there's no little tag end coming off. Take this wire now and put it through what you just made. You're going to go through the center that you did, through the center of the hole, and through the center of the other loop that you just finished. What you want to do now is take these pliers. These are your long nose pliers, cloisonnés, they call them. And you want to grab the wire you just twisted on with one hand. I'm left-handed. Grab both so it doesn't turn and just grab it tighter and twist it once around. That will hold that onto there. And now you clip it again. That off. Push it down a little bit. And now you twist that wire down and you have one end of the wire closed. Okay, you're going to do the same thing to this side. I am going to grab it with the cloisonnés, the long nose pliers. I'm going to grab the, you look real close here what I'm doing. I'm going to grab from this side the wire that's going through and the wraparound wire. I'm going to grab my needle nose and just wrap it around twice again so it's closed really tight on there. So the wire that you wrapped around the tool is now wrapped around this wire that you put in the middle of it. Now you just want to take your fingers and pull it down. Pull it down as close as you can, making it straight. Fiddle with it a little. They're fiddle faddle beads. Pulled it down. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to make a loop like we just did this side. I'm going to make it on this side too. I'm going to hold it down, push that way, turn the loop up, twist it around, put the clips on the bottom, and grab my front nose and wrap it around again. Cut it off. Grab one end just to straighten it out a little, and the other end. And you have a nice twisted bead. You have to fiddle with it sometimes. There we go. And there's your twisted bead. Well done. Now that's a solid bead. So you can push this, put this down, put another bead on and make a chain, whatever you want. But that's one solid bead. There's a way of making a spinner bead. I'm again going to wrap, straighten out my wire. Let's wrap it around the triangle one. I'm only going to do about 6 times. 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wrap it around, give yourself an end, cut it off, pinch it in a little bit. What I'm going to do is take this now, about close where it's, see where it's coming to, the triangle is at the end here. I'm going to just take one end of this, bend it down, bend it around, and make one little tight loop right around the middle. Okay? Now I'm going to cut this off, the excess. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to grab it again right where it was starting to turn. Bend it over, bend a tight loop, bend it so it's in the middle. And cut the excess off so you have one nice little loop in the middle and one nice little loop there in the middle. Again, I'm going to take my wire piece, an extra piece of 18 gauge wire, and make a wire loop again. And I'm going to put it through that hole, through the bead, and through the opposite hole. And it's not going to come off, but you see it spins. You hold it down, it spins. So now all I have to do is take my needle nose, bring it down. Now this is a wire that's usually flat, straight down when you're going to make a wire loop. You bend this one that way. So it's an L. Bring it up. Hold it tight. Bring it over. Put your other down on there. Bring it over, and now twist it and wrap it up. I have to change hands because I'm right-handed. 1, 2. Cut the excess. Okay. Straighten it out. Oops. And you have a wire tube that will turn and spin, and turn and spin, and turn and spin. So it could be a spinning tube. That's the triangular one. You do the same with the flat nose. You do the same with the round. You do the same with the square. And you come up with different types of beads. This is the 18 gauge wrapped around 20 times square. This is a popsicle stick one wrapped around about 20 times. And it's attached, it's square, you can go or move around. It's a cool little bead. You see that? That one goes that way. If you make it with thinner wire, it has a different look, but it's still the same. This is another spinner that I did. It's not attached, the wire is just in the middle. And it can't come off because you've made that little loop. So each wire that you use is going to be a different color. If it's a different color wire, it's all going to be twisted. And if you just fiddle with them, they come up different. Different wire, different shades. This is 22 gauge, I think. 22 gauge is a little more delicate looking. This one is a spinner, again, and it's out of 24 gauge. So this comes up to a real thin bead. If you want them looking really tight, you just have to, once you make your first loop, you just have to squeeze it tighter down. But that's making the fun beads. And all different kind of wires, all different shapes, and you can add them together to anything that you'd like. I hope I told you a little bit of something today that will help you out with your jewelry making skills. This was the triangular when I started. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed watching me today.